Hello and welcome to Clan Generator. This episode we are going to be starting off with a brand new clan called EclipseClan. If you've been here before, then welcome back. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Frosty. We are just going to be diving right into this here. EclipseClan is going to be a little bit different than some of the other playthroughs or challenges you may have seen. EclipseClan, we'll go over the rules real quick, is going to be kind of formulating after rogues in the stories. So, first and foremost here, cats must proceed on every patrol, and we must antagonize other clans when we get a chance to do so. Cats can get benefits and disadvantages based on traits and natures. All cats in this game will have a basic nature that will change as they grow, but once they become a warrior, that's pretty dead set. And they'll get benefits if it's something that bloodthirsty rogues may like, for example, Bloodthirsty. So, on the other hand, if they are loving or similar nature that the rogues don't deem to be ideal, they could be put into disadvantages or even have a higher chance of negative backlash from the actual group itself. Cats will have 3 chances at a time to show that they are going to be able to hold their own within the clan and to prove their worth. Cats with the better natures may have more chances, whereas cats with worse natures may have fewer. So, in this game, cats can get sick and hurt for longer periods of time, and each instance is based off of a certain length of time, being a moon or a month. So cats would get 3 months at a time to prove that they are going to be able to contribute to the clan. If they fail because they're sick or injured over that period of time, then they wouldn't be deemed healthy or strong enough to remain in the clan. So if they get that many strikes, then they could just be out, and there are some conditions that are automatically going to be more than 3 moons long. So if a cat gets a broken bone, for example, they're basically already going to be getting kicked out of the clan. Cats that are affected by a permanent condition can prove their worth in other non-traditional ways, but for the most part, it's really just going to be focused on hunting and fighting. We'll get into that in more detail later. Cats that are contributing in other ways would have their same amount of success or failure chances as their counterparts, and their roles and what would be considered a success or failure would be based off of different factors. So we'll go over those as they come. And generally speaking, cats that are considered soft will be facing the world alone and will have fewer chances for a mess up in those instances. Another important factor here is that since we are playing as rogues, the leader rules only through fear and iron will, and they're not sanctioned by anyone or anything. So they are operating as if they only have one life for themselves. They'll still be taking on the star name, and I may just scroll through any leadership ceremonies that we have for possible additional flavor, but effectively, the leader is only going to have one life at a time. Since we are going to be playing a bit more of a dark campaign, cats will, by default, go to the dark forest. Just to go over real quick, and I'll probably be including this in the description or pinned comment, ideal natures include bloodthirsty, vengeful, and fierce. Good includes ambitious, bold, cold, confident, daring, lonesome, loyal, shameless, sneaky, strict, strange, and troublesome. Neutral natures include adventurous, calm, careful, charismatic, insecure, nervous, responsible, righteous, wise. Bad includes altruistic, childish, compassionate, empathetic, faithful, loving, patient, playful, and thoughtful. So, cats that are playful would have a worse time off than cats who are charismatic, which would be worse off than cat that is bold, which would be worse off than cat that is fierce. So, there is going to be a lot of components to this. I'm going to be keeping track of them mostly off screen, and maybe in a cat's notes as well in the actual game itself. If you want to go over this in more detail, I also recommend checking out the last episode of ClanGen, as I go over this in a bit more detail as well. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and we are going to start with a new clan here. Since Cruel Season isn't in the game yet, we'll be sticking with Expanded Mode. And by popular vote, it was close, we are going to be going with EclipseClan for these rogues. We're going to be looking for at least 2 cats with an ideal nature to start off as our leader and deputy. And we'll basically just keep re-rolling until we get that. We could get really lucky right off the bat, and we could get very unlucky, so I will either just go over interesting cats as I see them, or we'll just come back with the clan that we're going with. Well, already I feel very akin to this one. Neither of the cats in here are particularly good, but I just want to point out how pretty these 3 are, especially Duskfall here. Really wish we could have gone with Duskfall, but as it is, we don't have any Fierce or Bloodthirsty, so we'll re-roll. Okay, so this is a bit of a different one, but I think we may actually have a winner here. So the only thing I don't like about this clan is that it's very female heavy, but I think we'll give it a shot. So to start us off here, we have Shortburn, who would become Short Star, a young adult female who's bloodthirsty and gorgeous. We have Hashade, who is male, adult, and careful, which is a neutral trait. Swallowdrop, who is a male, young adult, and strict. Molebranch, who is a female, senior adult, and strange. Strange is a good trait to have here. Then we have Honeytrot, who could become Honeystar, a female vengeful adult, which is an ideal trait. Then we have Luckblink here, who's a very interesting pattern. Senior, female adult, and loyal. Then we have Conespeck, who is adult, female, charismatic, which is a neutral trait. But I think we would probably make Short Burn into Short Star. And then we would make our other ideal trait her deputy. For Medicine Cat / Healer, I think any neutral or above trait would be fine. Especially something like Lonesome or Cold. Strict isn't bad either. One of these to the Medicine Cat, because they'll still be able to work into their elder years that way. And I think that would probably just be the best case scenario. So I'll go ahead. I think I'll make Molebranch Healer. And then we can take 4 to 7 more. We'll just kind of go in order of traits and how good they are. So strict is probably our next best trait. And then loyal is better than charismatic and careful, but I think we will take both. And I think we will take the apprentices. They don't have any bad traits really, and they can still learn to work. They'll just be placed with random cats for now. Moving forward, kids will be placed with their primary caretaker to teach them the ways. There's not really a mentorship program, so we'll probably just randomly assign these guys to a warrior based on age. I think we'll take them. And then that's going to be our clan. So we'll go ahead and go to the next step. I was also considering this, and I think a grotto would probably be the best place for them. And I'm gonna actually do something a bit riskier and start us off in Leafall. That just kind of feels like a good setting for this clan going into the winter time. So I think we'll start us off there. And then we are done. EclipseClan has been created and saved. So let's get to see them. First and foremost here, it looks like our guide is Morning Spider, who we are going to change to the Dark Forest, which is going to affect where our cats will go moving forward. I've never sent the guide to the Dark Forest. Hello, I'm here to drag the dead cats of EclipseClan into the Dark Forest. Okay, thank you, Morning Spider. I really appreciate your duty. Okay, let's meet our clan here. So we have Short Star, who is definitely young at 30 moons. She is bloodthirsty and a good hunter. Honeytrot is a bit older at 89 moons. She is vengeful but a good teacher. She has an apprentice in Clawpaw for right now. Mole Branch is strange with a strong connection to, I guess, the Dark Forest would make the most sense. Oh, and Mole Branch was listed as female in the lineup, but looks like he is actually a trans male. And it looks like we probably made a good bet making him Medicine Cat, since he's actually just a couple months away from becoming an elder. Luckblink, oof, is even closer at 119 moons. She's loyal and very smart. So we could possibly make her mediator for the clan. That will keep her possibly operating a bit longer. But if she decides to retire from that, then she would probably just be exiled from the clan, which is not a great start. Halfshade here is careful but a great fighter, which is a good trait. Cone Speck is charismatic and a great hunter at 75 moons old. Swallowdrop is strict and a great fighter, so he's probably a pretty good candidate for further advancement in the clan. J-Paw is strange, and looks like she's actually pretty close to becoming a warrior. Her second skill is unknown. Clawpaw is a bit younger, she's adventurous. And Peakpaw is also strange and is the same age as Clawpaw. So we could loosely say that they're sisters, and J-Paw is from an older litter. But generally speaking, I think we are going to be operating under the same guideline that any kits that come into the clan as being adopted are going to be stolen from another clan or a kitty pet, and generally speaking will grow up in this clan to be quote-unquote brainwashed into their rogue ways, and to think that the antagonistic traits that this rogue group presents is going to be the best way to live. I think it'd be really actually kind of cool if we could keep it a pretty female dominated clan, just for the gaslight girl boss gatekeep trait. I think that's just like a really fun concept to have. But with that being said, and I think we will just go ahead and make Luckblink a mediator right off the bat. For this kind of a clan where it thrives on disputes with outside clans, I think having really close-knit bonds within the clan is going to be really important, especially for some of the lower members. Now, we're not going to tolerate weakness or anything of that nature within the clan. So if a cat can't care for themselves, then they're going to be out on the streets, so to speak. But if a cat is able to hold its own within the clan in any way, then they'd be more likely to remain. So relationships aren't necessarily going to stop a cat from not pulling its weight or help it stay within the clan when it wouldn't otherwise. But I think relationships could prove to be very valuable all the same, because when you're in such a stressful, risky position as this, you really only have one another. Is kind of my current logic. So I think the mediator could help with that, and by displaying mediator tendencies, they could also potentially go to sow discord in other groups. So I think that would be their primary motive. And I think mediators of a clan like this would be operating entirely based on their own predispositions and motives. So if Luck Blink wants to break two cats up, for example, she could totally just go along and do so. It could have no benefit to the clan, it could be a really bad thing to do, and if that's just what Luck Blink wants to do, that's what she may do. So I think we'll do that. I think that makes more sense for starting off the clan to have the mediator role for an older cat, instead of just being like, hi, welcome to the clan, oh, just kidding, it's been a month, you're too old, bye. So that's just my current logic. And these guys are with pretty good mentors for them, I think. Short Star being the kind of cat that she is, while I want to pass on the Bloodthirsty trait, I think she'd be very hands-off. Leaders of this group would be more catered to instead of contributing with, so she can choose to go on patrol or not. Same with Honey Trot here, since they both have ideal traits. Or they could just benefit off of the rest of the clan. They may be more inclined to go out if there's fewer numbers like now, but if there's anything they see that they don't like, they can freely turn away. We don't have any bad quote-unquote traits at the moment, so no cat's going to be forced to go out alone and come what may to them. But we'll probably mostly keep cats a little bit more separated based off of neutral, good, ideal traits for now. So Half-Shade and Cone Speck are our two neutral. These two are also more neutral, but they're doing other positions, so I think we'll send Short Star and Honey Trot out more so by themselves. They can choose what they want to do, and the others can choose not to do something, but they'll get a ding for it if they do not do something. River's coming over to say hi because she's getting hungry. Yeah. It's not food time yet. So I hope that makes sense, but we'll go ahead and we'll go with that for now anyway. Okay, so we find a small burrow with a strange scent and hesitate, unsure if this is worth checking. I think Short Star would probably want to, so we'll proceed. It was home to an angry Wolverine, now angry at the disturbance. We bolt away to escape its wrath, but Honey Trot doesn't quite move fast enough and is caught in its claws until another cat turns back to help. Honey Trot got a torn pelt in exchange, but it doesn't look like it's a condition that would prevent her from working, so that's also usually something that's pretty easily healed. Mole Branch has no luck finding Daisy, so we'll send everybody else out together. Everyone can go on a border patrol together. So we notice some suspicious paw prints. We'll go and proceed. Boldly, Swallowdrop follows the paw prints to a trespassing rogue and confronts them. For a puffed up and scowling, the patrol demands the rogue leave. Intimidated by the confidence and number of cats, the rogue gives and leaves without a fight. So we successfully defend our turf from another rogue group. Like Blink, I think. Well, let's actually check out how everyone's relationships are with one another. To start us off here. So, for the most part, Short Star has pretty good relationships with everybody except for J-Paw. I don't know what J-Paw did, but she does not like J-Paw. Honey Trot actually has positive feelings for everybody, but some more than others. Mole Branch here is kind of the same way, except he also doesn't like J-Paw. J-Paw must just have a rough time getting along with people. Luck Blink generally seems like more. She respects Cone Spec, but doesn't necessarily like her. Half Shade, on the other hand, does not like Luck Blink, and dislikes Peekpaw as well, but has generally positive feelings for everyone else, mostly Cone Spec. Cone Spec really likes Mole Branch, ooh, and has a crush on Half Shade. And doesn't seem to necessarily dislike anybody but Luck Blink, actually. Swallowdrop respects J-Paw, doesn't necessarily like J-Paw. And has various levels of like for the others, it looks like. Let's see what poor J-Paw likes. J-Paw really doesn't dislike anyone. Clawpaw is pretty much in a similar boat, as is Peekpaw. So who was the cat? I think it was Cone Spec that actually had a crush. Yeah, so Cone Spec had a crush on Half Shade. They are similar ages. And Half Shade has a lot of respect for Cone Spec. So maybe I will focus on mediating them. So let's go ahead and mediate them. Okay. So since those are looking pretty okay together, I may just go ahead and make them mates. It's not like the most like compatible ever, but I think that'll be good. We do have same-sex couples having kittens off. They can still, of course, couple off if they want to, but we do have allowing unmated cats to bring home kittens on. So that's just for a little bit of extra challenge and drama. And I was going to say, with Half Shade being one of the very few males in the clan that is dominated by biologically female cats, I think it's kind of important to try and find mates that these two are going to be in good relationships with. Of these cats, Swallowdrop doesn't really have a great option, so we'll kind of leave him to his own devices for now. I think that was a pretty successful first moon here. Got a little bit of a torn pelt, but nothing bad happened, so we'll go on time skip. Okay, so Swallowdrop sits in the crowd, chest puffed out in pride, as they watch J-Paw be named J/, and honored for their spirit. They consider themselves lucky to be able to train such an amazing young cat, and look forward to seeing the warrior they become. Honeytrot's pelt has recovered from being so torn. The loner waits on the border for a patrol, asking to join the clan. They decide to take on a more clan-like name and are now called Gus Clove. So here's Gus Clove. They are responsible, which is a neutral trait. Young adult female with pretty coppered eyes. Their pelt is listed as being marble, but honestly it looks pretty much all white here. So it looks like they used to be a loner and decided to take refuge with our group. And let's also check out J/. who is faithful with a strong connection to Star Clan. So, unfortunately, that is a bad trait. J Slash is going to be sent out on all border patrols and will be going by herself. She can't turn away a patrol either, so she could get into some very bad situations. It's worried that others are judging them. Others very well may be. It's just not really considered very helpful to the clan to be faithful in spirits that don't exist, quote unquote, for these rogues. And having a good connection to positive components isn't necessarily what this clan's about. Here's Luck-Blink. She is elder now, but she is still a mediator, so she can still work for the clan. So she'll still continue to do so. Short Star is relaxing in camp, so I'll take that to mean she's not going to go out this moon. Same with Honeytrot, who's looking around camp. We also don't have any herbs going into Leaf Air, which is kind of unnerving. So I think we may send a cat out with Mulebranch just to help him out a bit here. I'll send Gustclove out by herself to prove herself as well, so we'll get our solo patrols going out of the way here. Border's perfect. So no some suspicious paw prints here with Gustclove. And Gustclove soon realizes that they smell of our clan, so someone must have wandered through the section border recently, but it's not a threat. So Gustclove is also probably still getting lay of the land, and probably didn't recognize Friend from Foe quite yet. Then J Slash, sorry, you're going out by yourself from now on. There are dark clouds on the horizon, and she wonders if she should continue. And while it's pretty gray up there, the promised rain luckily never comes. We gather Lungwort, Elderlies, and Goldenrod on this patrol and are reassured of our space within the clan. I think I'll send Swallowdrop out in lieu of Honeytrot, since Honeytrot didn't really seem like they wanted to patrol the day. I'll send these guys training. So we see a porcupine. I was debating whether I want to proceed. I did go ahead and do so. Peakpaw refuses to believe that the happy, snuffly creature they visit can possibly be dangerous and starts an argument with Halfshade about it. Clawpaw sides with Halfshade. No one learns anything in this squabbling. I also count this as something of a success since we didn't get hurt in the process, and that's kind of worst case scenario for a porcupine. And Halfshade, who is patrol leader, can always just report back. We saw a porcupine and talked about it, which is true. They did do that. And Shortstar would probably be maybe not pleased by that, but content with that explanation. Nothing interesting happened into our second moon here, which is totally fine. Sometimes no news is the best news that we could have. Okay, let's see how everyone's doing. Shortstar is assessing some of the younger cats. Honeytrot is eavesdropping on Swallowdrop. I wonder if she's concerned that he's doing something he shouldn't be. Mulebranch is choking on food. Luck-Blink is meeting a couple's relationship, so we'll go ahead and put our only couple up here for that. And things seem to have gone pretty well there. Halfshade standing guard. Cone Speck is sparring. Swallowdrop is putting every whisker in place. Gustclove is wondering what Shortstar is thinking. It can't really be easy being a new member into a clan or group like this. Peakpaw has found an unorthodox way out of camp. Peakpaw may use that in the future if needed. Go ahead and send everybody out on patrol again. Since Shortstar and Honeytrot seem like they may want to go out, I'll go ahead and send them out. They probably got hunting. We glimpse a shadow of a fish as we walk past a stream. Honeytrot very carefully goes to the edge and waits for their chance, and they hook it out with their claws. More fresh kill. We'll send out all of our neutral cats together. They can go training. We have a disagreement and look to Hashade to settle it. Hashade nods sympathetically, hearing out every side, and with their help, the patrol begins to feel more comfortable, even with their differences. We'll send out J/, on their lone border patrol. As J/ is marking the border lines, a gang of rogues burst from the bushes. It's an ambush, which is not good. Since J/ does have the trait considered bad, she must proceed. She doesn't have a chance to turn away and just take a strike. She has to proceed on this, because what's waiting for her at home could be even worse than what these rogues have. So unfortunately, she is going to proceed into this fight. The rogues greatly outnumber her, however, and have no trouble killing her. The body is discovered the next day at the border, covered in wounds and cold. Also, we'll branch out, gathering herbs. And we'll manages to gather some plantain. Since we've done one of every patrol, we'll send these two out randomly. We spot a strangely acting rabbit. We can see the tremors from a few fox lengths away. I think we'd still take the risk of the way it's acting, because just generally speaking, it's better to come back with some fresh kill than none at all and use a bad excuse like it was acting weird. So they'll proceed. But the rabbit does manage to get away, so that's still going to be a strike against Cone's-Beck and Swallowdrop. So I've marked that on my notepad here. And I think we've done everything else we can do. Looks like it. So we'll go ahead and we will proceed here. Okay, so as we are into Leaf Fair here, Luckblink was bitten by a snake and miraculously survived, but she could still be poisoned or have other bad traits. Clawpaw trips over an unseen rabbit hole, spraining their paw. And also, Swallowdrop brought a litter of 4 kits back to camp, refusing to discuss their origin. The past moon, J/ has taken their place in StarClan. EclipseClan probably doesn't really mourn them. They weren't really popular, and they ended up having qualities that the clan didn't agree with. So they just warn the others about what happens with incompetence, and they take them to J/'s final resting place. So I think that's just a great example of why this clan is going to be as unforgiving as it is. We do also have mass extinction events on, so a cat could easily just be wiped out on patrol or in events between moons, so it's going to be really important to curtail their personality and success to everything else here. So let's go ahead and, oh, look at the kitties. Let's take a look at our cats and how they're doing here. So Luckblink is injured with a snake bite. They've been hurt for 1 moon and can't work. So since they aren't contributing to the clan, we're basically going to use this as their timer. If it goes to moon 4 or more, because it counts as the moon previously through the event, then the cat's just gonna get exiled or worse. So let's hope that Luckblink heals quickly. The same goes with Clawpaw here, who has a sprain. Sprains, if I remember correctly, usually do heal before that time. And then we have Swallowdrop's kits here. So we have Elk Kit, who is bouncy male, newborn with a classic pelt and gray eyes. We have Cougar Kit, who's also male, a single striped flame it looks like, who's bullying, also has gray eyes. We have Ripple Kit, who's little female, classic coat, gray eyes as well. And then we have Bubbling Kit, who's also a male with emerald eyes. So much for keeping the clan mostly female, but that does introduce a lot of new young mouths to feed. Since Swallowdrop isn't recovering or anything, then we are going to just keep sending him out. The expectation in circumstances like this would be that Mole Branch, who's a medicine cat, would look after them, most likely, or if we did have somebody who was a kit sitter designated, they could look after the kits. We don't really have that though, so the kits are just going to pretty much be left to their own devices. But I think these are all pretty good names for these guys, so we'll keep their names as they are for now. Short Star is feeling lazy, so she'll stay in camp today. Honey Trot's assessing the apprentices, so I think she'll take at least Peekpaw out for an assessment. Swallowdrop is looking after Elk Kit. Gus Clove is sparring. So with that, I guess we'll go ahead and send everybody out. So send you out with these two on a training patrol. The patrol wants to hold a training session for Peekpaw and decide to focus on climbing trees. Peekpaw listens carefully as they explain the proper techniques to do so. I think we will send Gus Clove out to help gather herbs. So here's going to be a great example. Whenever we're faced with a prompt, we'll have to antagonize it. We won't necessarily turn away new recruits, but this prompt isn't really for that. So we'll antagonize opposite forces whenever we get the chance to do so. Since we're feeling a strange presence and we have the option to antagonize, we will do so. We feel hounded by the presence of another ghost. We turn and hiss at the Star Clan cat, but when Mole Branch turns around, there's only a rather upset looking clanmate there to fetch him to camp to help with emergency. Since these two both have a strike already against them, we're going to go ahead and take the risk of following the fox to a deer carcass. We launch into battle, but Swallowdrop is caught with a nasty bite, and the cats give up on challenging for the food in favor of helping Swallowdrop back to the medicine cat den. So Swallowdrop, unfortunately, has incurred an injury and already has a strike against him. This is going to count for a second strike. The thing that may save him is bringing back 4 kits. Normally a nursing queen would get a few moons leeway. He decided to continue to work but didn't do so effectively. So this is kind of a weird gray area. It's really probably just going to depend on how Short Star is feeling next moon, if Swallowdrop is allowed to say or not. So Ripple Kit is scolded after sneaking out of camp, and Ripple Kit also gets green cough. So Ripple Kit probably snuck out, got exposed to the elements, and got sick in doing so. Green cough is really scary because it's a young kit for starters. We have very few herbs, and it's contagious, so it's also only the start of Leap Year. It's really, really scary that we got that so soon. Since we're kind of in that weird middle effect here. Let's see, Short Star and Swallowdrop are where they should put their border marks. That half shade over herds and disagrees with Short Star and Swallowdrop's near half shade. So that seems like a negative effect towards half shade. I'm just trying to see if Swallowdrop and Short Star have a particularly bad disagreement. No, not really. And Swallowdrop obviously isn't going to be any better here. These two are on their second moon 6, so they'll only have one more. And Swallowdrop's position is going to be based entirely on Short Star's mood. She's feeling energetic today. She has mild like for Swallowdrop here. So I'm honestly gonna say it's gonna be a 50-50 chance about whether or not Short Star is going to allow Swallowdrop a couple extra moons for bringing home kits, or she's just not pleased with this either way. Okay, I got a 12 on my roll here, so I think she will give Swallowdrop 3 moons extra. Queens usually get 3 moons leeway, and having kids counts as a success for the clan. So I think realistically she would say that Swallowdrop had a success followed by a failure. So he's kind of at strike 1, and she'll give him 2 more moons in order to recuperate, and if he can't manage to do that in that time, well, she gave him a chance. So Short Star wants to go out, so we'll let her go out on patrol with Clawpaw. So we can see the kits that are a bit more grown up now. This is Elk Kit, Cougar Kit, Ripple Kit is sick, unfortunately. She is sick with green cough, which is not likely going to be a positive outcome, but we'll keep our fingers crossed here. And then we have Bubbling Kit. Swallowdrop has gray eyes, so it looks like a lot of the kids inherited that from him. But my honest guess would be that their mother had emerald eyes and was some iteration of a yellow or ginger cat, just based off of the kids' appearances, and probably had a tabby pelt. Unfortunately, we don't really see what their mother would have looked like when it comes to something like that, so Clawpaw is the one that is sick, so we'll just send these 2 out together, probably hunting again. We narrowly missed the bird, but Short Star doesn't have to admit her own shortcomings to the clan, so it's kind of give or take there. We'll send these 3 out on border patrol. We notice some suspicious paw prints while we're out, and they turn out to be our own patrols. We're embarrassed and can't meet the eyes of the rest of the patrol, but that's okay. That does count against the striker peak paw, but it's better than the cat being hurt. I'll send you out hunting by yourself. And Gust Clove does manage to bring back some fresh kill. While gathering water, Mole Branch sees strange ripples on the surface of the puddle. As they look into it, they are greeted by an intense vision. They drop what they're doing and race back to the camp to consult the leader. Water can wait, this is far too important. I would say for vision prompts like this, since we don't really believe in warrior ancestors or anybody watching over us, I'd say that this is more so intuition or noticing little trends. So if you've ever read the books, I'd say we're looking at these patterns as if we are Mothwing. So if we do know anything out of turn, oh, it's because we saw something, or it's because we subconsciously registered something and observed something and not someone giving us information, if that makes sense. Or J/Slash is out here and just feels regret for her actions and probably for her failure. Okay, so Hashay gives Peekpaw a friendly nudge when the leader calls a young cat's name. They watch with pride as Peekpaw sets forward to receive their new name, Peekfur, and is honored for their logic. Luckblink has healed from their snake bite, but will be forever marked by a scar. Clawpaw has recovered from their sprain, and Little Ripple Kit no longer has green cough, which is great. We're not really caring about scars here. It's not gonna affect anybody in any way. And these both healed before their time was up, so luckily for them, they are going to be able to have a chance to contribute to the clan again. And honestly, when it comes to mediation, I don't even think that Luck Blink is going to be super monitored in her capability with that. I think it's just going to like strictly be what she does for other clans. Really, I think the main negative outcome would be if they end up helping another clan resolve a dispute instead of, you know, sabotaging that in some way. And here's Peak Fur. Peak Fur turned out to be nervous, but is an excellent fighter. Nervous is a neutral trait, so Peak Fur won't have the best time here, but she's not going to be like really worked against like J/ was. And Clawpaw is also grown up, but is still not a full warrior yet due to the delay that they had. So Short Star wants to talk to Luck Blink about something. I wonder if she wants a relationship mediated for her in some way. I don't know if she particularly cares. Maybe she's just going to Luck Blink for some advice of some kind. Swallowdrop is playing with his kits, excitedly letting them win every time. He has one more moon to get better, and if he doesn't, then he is out. And the game that looks like he is playing with Elkit is probably some kind of hunting or roleplay game, since Elkit's pretending to be a rabbit and hopping around. We'll go ahead and send everybody out on patrol. Send these two out together on a training, just to try and get some of that practice back up. So this actually reflects badly on Honeytrot, but Honeytrot doesn't necessarily feel the effects of the downside, so Clawpaw lucked out. Send these three out on a border patrol. Since this is going to be an interaction with another clan, we're going to have to antagonize here. We spy a rabbit on the other side of Thresh Clan's border. Hashade leaps for the rabbit and promptly trips over a rock. The rabbit hops away and Hashade sheepishly picks himself up before noticing that they were being watched by a Thresh Clan cat. The other cat laughs at the pathetic display and turns to walk deeper into their own territory. They seem to be unfazed and unimpressed by this sad attempt. So, unfortunately, that is on Cone Spec. And we failed that miserably, so that's actually Cone Spec's third strike. And Hashade and Peak Fur are now at 1. I know Peakpaw had an existing strike, so Peakpaw's now at 2. And Hashade's at 1. As Gust Clove tears through the forest, stretching their legs on a run, they spot moving out of the corner of their eye. The huge leap, they dart sideways and pull a blackbird out of the air. What a great catch. So, unfortunately, Cone Spec here is up to her third strike. Short Star calls the clan together and sneers down at them. Her eyes seem to be on one cat in particular, and that happens to be Cone Spec. It's no secret around the clan what has happened, especially since that was a pretty large patrol that Cone Spec was leading. Peak Fur watches nervously, afraid for Cone Spec and for herself and the implications that this could hold. Short Star looks around at the clan and discusses Cone Speckle's various downfalls and misgivings. We're only 5 moons into this brand new clan, and Cone Speckle has failed the majority of these months. The clan looks around in derision at ClanSpeckle, who hangs her head in shame. She attempts to lift her head to discuss with Shortstar that she could do better. It's just, this is a new thing for everybody, and they're all trying to figure out what they're doing to get their paws under them in this strange group setting instead of being the loners that they were before. Shortstar has no patience for these claims, though, and is unimpressed by these explanations to try and defend themselves. Shortstar is just going to look outside at the snow that is falling in the dark nights of wintertime, and the harsh look of Leafbear, and says that if ClanSpeckle is struggling to adapt to a clan setting, then maybe ClanSpeckle would fare out in the cold and dark better by herself. And ClanSpeckle, who is a great hunter and has fared for herself for a good few seasons before this clan was formed, hesitantly leaves. They are scared for what could be out there awaiting them in a dark night, and they don't want to leave Halfshade, her mate, behind, but she is exiled from the clan. Halfshade, who is careful and has made a pretty good name for himself in this clan, watches sadly, but does not accompany her out into the night. As scary as this place is, he thinks that he would have a much better chance in this hollow than he would out there with ClanSpeckle. Her ClanSpeck. I've been calling her ClanSpeckle this entire time, haven't I? So she is now by herself to face whatever may come. Okay, so we are approaching New Leaf now. Shortstar has been following the progress of Clawpaw for moons and feels it's finally time to get them their warrior name. They are granted the name Claw Splinter in honor of their adaptability. Swallowdrop's bite wound is healed just in the nick of time, which is fortunate because we have so few cats around to help. Ripplecit woke up with a splitting headache and could not get out of their nest. She spends the entire day curled up next to their parent, trying to avoid light and noise so the throbbing pain could subside. Ripplecit would probably just be curled up next to Mole Branch since he's the medicine cat and the one looking after the kits right now, especially since Swallowdrop has a lot to prove right now. She could also be curled up next to Luckblink, who could easily watch over the kit while she's talking to other cats. Speaking of Mole Branch, however, he announces that he's expecting kits, but he won't be moving into the nursery just yet. That's actually a very scary thing for us because we don't have a backup medicine cat yet. I was honestly hoping that we could allow one of the other kits to grow up into medicine cat apprentice, and we still have 3 moons before they enter their apprenticeship. Mole Branch is the only medicine cat, and once he has kits, there's going to be no way to look after the clan or himself, and as a senior cat, there's a high chance of complications, so this could be a very dangerous outcome for the clan as a whole and for Mole Branch in particular. So it's kind of surprising that Mole Branch would take this risk without an apprentice to help look after him once he has the kits, but this was a choice I suppose he felt he needed to make right now. Shortstar is debating if they should declare war with another clan. The only clan I believe we've really seen is ThrushClan, and they're the ones who laughed at us in our pitiful attempt to steal from them, so maybe she's thinking that war is going to be the next best step. Claw Splinter turned out to be adventurous and a fantastic teacher, which are both neutral traits, so she'll just be kind of doing her own thing, it looks like. Elkit wants to take a nap, and Cougarkit knocks him over. Ripplecit has a severe headache. Since their kits, it doesn't really matter if they're sick or can't work or anything because they're kids. She's just wondering what it'd be like to be a leader right now. And Bubbling Kid is starting to wish that others would stop babying him. He wants to grow up. The loss of our only established couple, I think Short Star would imply to Luck Blink that we should probably have another couple being made sometime in the clan. I feel like Short Star would want to mate, but I don't think she really likes any cats like that. She is closest in age to Swallowdrop, but they don't have very strong feelings for one another. So I think we'll just pick 2 random cats mediate. And Luck Blink has a successful mediating session between Half-Shade and Claw Splinter. I think we will take Claw Splinter out with Mole Branch just to gather some herbs. I think Claw Splinter's adventurous and energetic nature would maybe be a bit easier to help go farther and gather more, which is definitely something we're going to need moving into New Leaf and with Mole Branch's impending kits coming in. Mole Branch is concerned because Claw Splinter is abnormally quiet, and they discuss their place within the clan and the role thereof as they gather mallow. Since Short Star is debating whether or not to declare war, I think they will take a patrol out to the border. I think they'll take Swallowdrop, because if they fail, I think they'll blame Swallowdrop, and Swallowdrop will be punished accordingly. If they succeed, then Swallowdrop gets their checks and balances renewed. As we're marking the border, a gang of rogues strides out of the brush, challenging us. We're not going to take this lightly, and we're going to antagonize them. This is EclipseClan's turf, and we are the rogue group around here. No others can compare to us. So we descend to battle without a second thought, but the rogues are stronger than expected, and eventually we were forced to retreat. So we do catch a strange rabbit, but while we take it back, we decide to take the rabbit away and bury it. I think this is the best outcome because it doesn't count against Half-Shade or Gus Clove, because they successfully caught it, but also the clan is safe from any possible illness the rabbit could have carried. So, unfortunately, we are here once again. Short Sir calls the clan together and stands over them from her high perch, looking down at them. The clan is nervous and anxious, wondering what the news may have been. She describes what happens at the border and states that there is a lot of weakness here in the clan, and she is determined to root it out. She looks at one cat in particular. She says this, describing their failures in the battle, how they could have hit harder, done more, taken on more cats, how their latest weakness prevented them from being in peak fighting form and made them look like fools before another rogue group. Swallowdrop stands before she's even finished speaking and dips his head. Swallowdrop acknowledges that he could have done better and he owes the clan more than this if he wants to stay. He looks sadly back at his kits, especially little Ripkit here, who has been consistently sick and injured and was really hoping to see him come back tonight and cuddle up against him and feel better, but instead Swallowdrop turns sadly, flicking his tail. He knows if he takes the kits with him, they will be worse off, but he doesn't want to leave them with no one to care for them either. Okay, so I just looked to see who he's closest with, and it looks like he actually was harboring a minor crush on Honeytrot here. So maybe that could have developed into something. But instead, he's going to turn to Honeytrot, and he is going to say that he knows that he's asking a lot, but if she, being the wonderful cat that she is, could look after the kits for him, he would greatly appreciate it. and he will accept any decisions that she makes for them in his stead. Honeytrot, who doesn't necessarily return the same feelings for him, dips her head, assuming that it's just because of her position, but does trust that these kits could be better than their father, and she will not hesitate to make the hard decisions that he could not for them. And with that, Swallowdrop 2 leaves. They let him go because they acknowledge the kits that he did give to the clan, and they will honor the legacy of Swallowdrop, and they don't necessarily want to turn the kits against them either by taking more drastic measures. So they're going to leave of their own volition. They will allow it. Conespec, in the meantime, has been exploring land beyond our territory. J/Slash is simply wishing that they could be in a better position than where they are. And I think that's where we'll go ahead and leave that off. It's been a very unforgiving episode to start us off. We are only 6 moons in, and this is already what we are faced with. So I think allowing, honestly, unmated cats to have kits and keeping more cats unmated is probably going to be the best thing to get our numbers up. And honestly, I think that's pretty true to something that rogues would do. So I think this has been working out pretty well, really. I do hope that you all have been enjoying this episode, and I look forward to starting off on the series with you all. Feel free to leave comments for suggestions or patterns that you notice down below. I do read every comment, so I'll be interacting where I can. And until next time, I hope you all stay safe, stay happy, and I'll see you then. Bye.